Hello FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. I am Everlou Illustrates. It's been a while since my last video. I will be explaining that in today's Stitch With Me, but first, welcome to my channel if you are new, and thank you for coming back if you are a returning viewer. So it's been a long while since I've done a video, so I'm going to be rustier than I was in my last FlossTube. But just before I start getting into things, this is Hyperbole by the Artsy Housewife. I'm stitching this 1/2 on 40 count linen by Roxy Flossco in the colourway Cove, and I am using the Roxy Flossco conversion. So what I do with these is, because they have DMCs associated with them, I just write the DMC on it, so I'm not guessing. But we're going to be stitching on this whilst I talk about where I've been the last few months and whatever else comes to my head. So whilst I do that, let me just start stitching, I guess. So I started this project real quick on Monday. Was it Monday? As I'm recording this, it's currently Thursday. I think it was Monday because it took me 2 days to do the red. Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, so Monday. Oh, and this needle minder down here, this is a bird of the month from Charlie Feathers. I can't remember what the bird is off the top of my head, but I also, hang on, the other day, I think it was also on Monday, I also received my second one from her. And when the third one goes on sale, I think tomorrow, I will be getting that one too. But yeah, they're so cute. But anyways, so the last some of you heard of me was back in February, when I did my, if you don't watch my streams on Twitch or YouTube, the last time you would have heard from me was when I did my January FlossTube. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited for February because I have all these plans. Well, midway through February, I had a flare-up of my illness. So for those of you that don't know, because I have had a few new subscribers in my absence, I have a autoimmune disease, well, condition called inflammatory bowel disease, and I specifically have Crohn's disease. And in November of 2024, I ended up having surgery to give me a stoma, or a colostomy bag to be more precise. And I'm very grateful that I was able to get one, because some people go their entire life with this disease and not need one, but it became quite clear that I needed one. Also, quick side note, this, if you're wondering why I'm using a needle with a bit of thread on it, this is what I call my poor man's snag nabbit. So I just use this to pull my ends in rather than an actual snag nabbit, because I'm scared I'm gonna tear my thread. I do have one, but it's a very big thick one, and I'm scared, so this just does it gently. Okay, anyway. And it has added value to my life, in the sense that I'm not confined to the bathroom as much. But I am having some complications. So last year I started to develop a, is it peristomal? Peristomal? I think it's a peristomal hernia. And mine's quite big, but my doctors won't operate until I lose weight. And I can't get anyone round here to prescribe me the weight loss medication. My GP ended up referring me to the bariatric team at my local hospital, but they only do weight loss surgery, and that's no good. You know, as someone who has a problem with not eating a lot, making my stomach smaller isn't gonna help. And I've also done some research, and apparently if you have untreated Crohn's, it can actually make your Crohn's worse. So that's a no. I am very busy at the moment with appointments, especially this upcoming week. Like, I go back to London to see my specialists there. And I've been seeing my GI at my local hospital, and we're doing some tests to see if it is a flare-up of Crohn's or if there is something else at work, and that something else could be my thyroid, because I just have not been well. Like, I'm a person who doesn't nap, right? And I've been napping every morning. Like, I will wake up, have my shower, have my breakfast, and then fall asleep at my desk for like an hour or two. And I was even doing it up until I stopped streaming for a bit. Like, it wasn't supposed to be this long, because I was also having issues with my computer. So if you remember the last stream, if you watched the streams, the last stream I did, you could hear that I sounded exhausted. I just felt real bad, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong with me, and I still don't. And so I was like, and I was also having issues with my computer. So I recorded my last floss tube with my old computer. Everything was fine. I recorded that on the Sunday, and then I went live the very next day on the Monday to start full coverage February. And for some reason, OBS was just crashing my computer. I have no idea what was causing it. Everything was up to date. Like, I had nothing needed updating. OBS was up to date. My graphics card was up to date. Like, there was nothing, and it was just doing it. And it wasn't happening every stream either. It was happening occasionally, so it was very confusing. It didn't matter what I had open, because I had the same things open every time I streamed. So it was just very frustrating. So I ended up buying a new computer, which is what I'm currently using right now to record this. And I was really excited, because I was like, oh, that means I can get back to streaming real soon. And then my health just took a massive dump, and it's not recovered. I'll have a day here and there where I feel better, and if I have like more than one good day in a row, I'm like, maybe like next week I can start streaming again. No, it doesn't stay for more than a day or two at a time. And I just can't stream when I'm having an issue that's causing me to be back in the bathroom all the time. So I'm stuck. I'm hoping by May, I know that's like soon, but also not, that I will be able to start streaming again. But if not, I'm also doing Margaret Morales May, regardless of if I stream or not. I haven't been keeping up with anything else. As soon as I stopped streaming in February, full coverage February fell to the wayside. Sorry, I just need to hydrate real quick. This is a reminder to hydrate if you need to. But yeah, so I was really excited for full coverage February. And as soon as my health plummeted, I was like, I don't want to stitch a full coverage. And I literally haven't stitched on anything since that day, like full coverage wise. I've been stitching on smaller projects. I've had 2 finishes. I'm hoping this Saturday I will be able to record a floss tube that brings us from February through to mid-April, which is going to be a very long video, I think. But I need to catch up. I don't want to skip, because in March I had 2 finishes, and you know, that's big for me. 2 finishes in a month. Many new starts, this being one of them as well. I also have the fabric and threads to start Blueberry J, and I'm just excited to be stitching on things. Like, I have kind of thrown everything to the wayside planning wise. Like, I'm going to be doing Margaret Morales May, like I just said, but instead of doing a cross stitch, I am also going to be doing a diamond painting. Hang on. Oh, I put the card away. Hang on. 1 second. I shouldn't have put it away. There it is. Right. So this is what I will be doing come May 1st. Lunar Goddess. This literally released last Saturday. It turned up today, and I have bought the thing to kit up in, and that's turning up tomorrow. So I will be doing that. My goal is 1 section a day. There's more than enough sections, and then the rest of the month, so after I do my section, I will be stitching on this, because I will have finished my April sale, which is the Quick Quaker sale for Modern Folk Embroidery. I have been doing that with the Called For Roxy Floss Co 5 colour version. You will see it in the floss tube when I get round to doing that, hopefully this weekend. But yeah, I need to have an MRI to see how my gut's doing. I need to give samples. Don't need to elaborate what kind, I'm sure you can guess. And I also need to have a bunch of blood tests. So I meant to have blood tests to check everything, but then I also get my every 3 months blood test from my hospital to check my levels to see if my medication's still working. So that's going to be fun. I think I've got a fan blowing in my face and it's drying out my throat. I've just realised when my throat is instantly dry even though I just drank. It's because of that. Because it's warm in this room. The weather around here lately, like in the UK, has been weird. It's been cold, but warm. And we're experiencing a bit of warmth right now. But what else can I talk about? I had so much in my head that I wanted to talk about, and now it's actually coming out. I can't actually remember. Oh, this PC, it's got water cooling, so it won't get hot. So come the actual summer, this room will not be a furnace. I mean, it will, because it's the room, but it won't be a furnace because of the computer. So I have that going for me. Maybe I'll just let you guys listen to the music for a little bit whilst I think of something else to say. It's very rare for me to be quiet, but maybe for a bit, and then if I come back with something, I'll just start talking again. So enjoy the music for a bit until I think of something else to talk about, I guess. Okay, I'm back. I have things to say. So I've been watching a lot of FlossTube lately, and one of the ones I've been watching was Crow Stitcher, and they're also working on the 6 portals, and it's been making me think about mine because I've been finding it so difficult to work on because it's so big. Remember, it's 964,800 total stitches, and it's like 200 and something tall, but like 1,000 and something wide, or almost 1,000 stitches wide. And in their FlossTube, they decided to start doing, because they were doing it by page, they've decided to do a kind of typewriter method, which is by Stitchy Mummy. It's either Stitchy or Stitching. And I implemented something kind of similar when I did my Hates Out in 2024. And I did okay with it, with my version, which is basically where I went across a page in a 10 by 8 row. And I think, now some of you might gasp, because I have been a diagonal girly since last year, which makes it sound like I've been doing it for ages, but I have sworn by the diagonal for all my full coverage charts, like every single one. And I think the next time I want to work on the 6 portals, I'm probably going to do the kind of typewriter method. I know, shock, horror, gasps, pearl clutching, because it's just so big. And I don't know what to do. Ow. I'm sorry. Just banged my hand on my Lowry stand. I have been beating myself up with this Lowry stand lately. I have a big bruise on my arm because I scraped my arm on the don't even know what you'd call it. The arm that you twist to do the clamp up. But yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do, and I think at the moment it's going to be just the 6 portals I convert from the diagonal to the row method, we'll call it. I also think this talking is irritating my throat, as well as the fan. But I aim to do about an hour of stitching with you guys. Whether it's all talking, partially talking, or the rest after a certain point is just nothing but music. We will get through this. So I think my aim to finish this first flower with just this thread isn't gonna work, because I have this much and I have this to go. We shall see. I have been playing Thread Chicken a lot when I've been stitching this. By the way, this does go over to there. So that's not the edge, as you can see on the picture. There is this full coverage part that goes all the way down, but it's such a pain working on that half, so I thought I'd start with you guys over here. I'd planned to, when I'd finished this last night, well, not last night, sorry, well, yeah, no, last night, to start on the right and come back with this green, but after realising I was going to record, it's very awkward for my hand, because I have to sit awkwardly to do it. But yeah, I just haven't been feeling my best. I'm hoping after I have all these tests we know whether it is or isn't my Crohn's, and if it is something else causing it. Like, I know I'm probably anemic, but I don't think that's going to be the cause, because I've been anemic before and I've never felt like this bad. It's always like I feel bad for a bit and then I'm fine, but it's been like this. I've actually been feeling this bad since last November, because those of you that don't know, in November 2025 I ended up getting my very first infection on my stoma, and it's because I had a retained stitch. Now, all my stitches were dissolvable, so they should have dissolved, but a year later I found one, and then a month later, that was in October 2024, and then a month later in November in 2025, October 2025, and then a month later in November I ended up with the infection. And the same thing happened this year in February. I had a second retained stitch. I had a second retained stitch, and a month later I got an infection, so in March. And this month I have found a third stitch. I was emptying my bag, and as I was cleaning it, I saw something on the end of my tissue, and I was like, what is that? It's blue. And I was like, what? So I grabbed another bit of tissue and I picked it out with the tissue, and I looked at it and I was like, that's another blooming stitch. So in a month, come May, I will have a third infection, and I will be bringing this up with the GI doctors I go to see in London, because they're the ones that need to do the hernia, because my hernia is massive. Like, I am sitting as close to my desk as possible. Let me just angle this for a sec. Right? This is as close as I can sit to my desk. Like, my belly is here, but my hernia is down here. Because if I sit too close, I get very uncomfortable because of the hernia. It impacts me, like, sleeping is impossible. And my cat Zelda wants to lay on me, and all my life he has laid on my left side. And he can't now, because if he touches it, I am in pain. If I sleep on my left side too long, I wake up in the morning and my whole hernia hurts. And like, any other medical professional who has seen it have said to me, you need this sorting, and I'm like, I know I do. But until London pull their finger out and do something, I'm kind of at their mercy. And it's like, I get that I need to lose some weight, but why don't they just do the surgery, like, now? And I wear one of those vests that women wear when they've had a C-section, and I just wear that to like wrap around me so the hernia doesn't come back, because they told me, like, at the way I'm at, the hernia could come back and it could come back worse, and then they won't be able to operate. But I would rather take that risk so I could at least start losing some weight, rather than just sit here twiddling my thumbs being like, well, there's not a lot I can do, because I'm not eating a lot. So it's not that, it's the fact that I just can't move because this thing is massive. Right, I now have to try and end this thread without smacking you guys in the face, which is impossible. So we're gonna have to take it off. You can't look at my desk. It's very nice. And I'll end this, and then get a new strand and flip it back. It's just trying to end it. There we go. So you get a beautiful look. What I'll do in future is the next time I have to end a thread, I'll just be quiet and I'll cut it out. make sure you put the needle back on the front, Emma, that would help. Otherwise you're gonna have trouble stitching. Right. Oops, sorry about the movement. See, this is, and you have to put up with the squeak that my Lowry makes. Right, next thread. Which is annoying, I have to get a whole new thread just to do that. To end it, to then do this. Hey, hey, hey. But I think I got, oopsies, I dropped it. Oh, also this computer, I don't know if I said this before, I probably did, that this computer is water cooled. So it's extra quiet, although the funny thing is when you turn it on it sounds like it's having a wee. Like, you'll just turn it on, you could just hear all the water just trickling. The day after, because I got my PC on Friday the 3rd of February. No, March, sorry, March. I was streaming on February, the 3rd of March. And, oh no, maybe it wasn't the 3rd, it must have been the 6th then, my bad. Do you know what it is? I'm getting my months mixed up. I got my PC on Friday the 6th of March 2026, I guess. And I spent hours on Friday. I had a meltdown because I couldn't log in to my Microsoft account to sync up, because basically I pay for OneDrive, and I know there are some people out there that don't like using OneDrive, but after I have lost everything on one of my computers like years ago, I will pay for the cloud on this computer because it's very handy. When I went from my gaming laptop to my old PC, I didn't have to do anything. Everything, just other than installing the programs and the software I needed, I didn't have to really re-download everything else. So it was really handy for that. And the same with this, when I upgraded from that PC to this one, once I actually logged into my Microsoft account, it was fine. But I did, it was like 11:30 at night, because I was supposed to have done, like my sister was supposed to have helped me, because I can't do any lifting. Because of the hernia, I can't lift anything, and this computer is quite heavy. So my mum offered to help me do it, but I had to wait for her to come home from work. So I used the time I was waiting for her to come home to stitch, but I also exported everything from Pattern Keeper. I had this whole system. Let me see if I can find the notebook real quick. Right, so I have a notebook that I keep certain things in, and when I was getting my PC, once I knew when it was turning up, I should say, I didn't start doing this just on the off chance, but I started to write down all my patterns. This is how many patterns, and now I have to add to it because I've added so much more since. I've gone a bit pattern crazy. I have plans. I will talk about those in the floss tube because there's no point me talking about them here. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a few. So 5 and a few full pages, double-sided. So this is on the back, and it goes like that for five pages. And basically, I wrote out every chart, and I highlighted the ones that have progress. So like Elephant Birth Sampler has progress. I did start to highlight it when I'd exported them, but then I gave up. So these ticks were represented when I imported it, and then when I imported it if it had progress. So as you can see, Seductive Kermit has no progress, so I only imported it. I haven't imported any progress because there is no progress. So I did that for all of them. in this order because I wanted to keep the order because I'm fussy like that. Like, again, my needle minder just took the book, there we go. So like, this is the exact order I wanted to keep them in. Now, there are two I didn't import. One of them being the Rainforest Mandala, this one. And the reason why I didn't is because this is my chatelaine, and I was in the process of recharting, like re-importing all the colours because they aren't Pattern Keeper compatible PDFs, so you have to do all this stuff to make them work. And I didn't want to, and because if I just imported it, it wouldn't have carried any of it over. So that's another task for me for another day. So I just was like, no. And I can't remember what the other one was off the top of my head. Oh, actually, no, I do. It was the Pokey-All. This one, Pokey-All, which was the project one of my friends is working on. Lumi Celine, I was looking at it to help her fix something, and I had it in there, and I was just like, I'm not working on it, so I don't need it. But since I've got this computer, I have been, there's a Zelda here, hang on, there we go. I have been a little crazy with buying patterns because it imports them so much quicker. I will give you like a slight spoiler for plans. I am doing, not yet, I am doing the entire, once I can get all of them as well, the entire X-Stitch the Rainbow Beneath the Waves chart. Like all the charts, all 20, I think it's actually 28 because some designers have put out more than one. Although I'm sticking to 27 because I have made a template. Someone in the Facebook group made a free border, and I made it fit every single one. And what I do is when I import my pattern into Pattern Keeper, I take a screenshot. What I'll do is at the end of this, I will pull up my Pattern Keeper and I will show you. I won't click on any of them, so I won't show you the actual pattern, but I'll show you my Pattern Keeper to really explain what it is I'm on about. But basically what I do is I will import them, take a screenshot of the mock-up, take that into paint.net, which is a free program, and then I will take out the white background, so it's just a no coloured background. I will then resize it to 60 by 60, which is the size each of these charts are, and then I single-handedly move it into its position on my list. And that's basically how I've been planning it. I haven't planned it as such because I'm waiting for some to still release, and there's some I can't get because they are only in America. Like Abby Topknot, she is America and Canadian exclusive for shipping, and so I need to borrow an American to buy them for me, and I would pay them back so I can get some of the charts, because I ended up getting the Stitchy Pros ones. What did I just drop? Let me pick that up. It won't even move. Oh, it can stay on the floor then. So I ended up getting the two Stitchy Pros ones. So I have the tentacles below, just a bit of paper, and now that's on the floor, thanks, and anchored tails. And then I also got her Night Garden exclusive from the year before, so this is Night Owl. And what I did was I recharted these with no intention of giving these to anyone, but I recharted them because I can't plan where they go if I don't have them. So they've been recharted, they're in Pattern Keeper ready, but I've bought them. I have physical copies, and I will not give out the digital to anyone. It's more for my benefit because I much prefer the digital to physical, but Stitchy Pros only does physical charts. And I got those off 123 Stitch when they released, and I've been checking it often to see if Abby top knot stitches it will be on there. If not, then I'll have to borrow an American. And I do have friends that live in America who would probably, if I asked, be willing to do so, and I would obviously pay them back. And I'd pay the shipping and everything. Oh, also, I should say the stitch count on here is wrong. So it's not actually 35,424 stitches. It's actually 35,000, I think it's 353? No, 636, that is way off. Wait, how is that? How did I get that? And that. I think I'm dumb. I will have to fix this because that's wrong. I have no idea, but that should be 61 stitches less, because when I imported this into Pattern Keeper, for some reason it's picked up stitches that aren't there, so I have about 61 stitches that don't exist. Right, anyway, I'm going to be quiet for a minute so I can end this thread and then restart so I can edit this out. Right, there we go. So yeah, so that's all I need. I currently have over half of them. I'm keeping track because they also put out on Abby Top Knot's website. They also have a PDF that gives you a checklist for all the ones that are available. And so as I've been collecting them and adding them to my Pattern Keeper, I've been ticking them off. So the very first ones I got was Tiny Modernist, and I also got ink circles from last year, so I have the Forget-Me-Nots, and they're so pretty. And then after that I ended up getting these ones, the ones I just showed you, the physical ones. And then, because I had to rechart them on my iPad because I didn't have WinStitch on this computer, because I was silly, and when I got my old computer I had to repay for WinStitch because I didn't save the download, and you would have thought I would have learnt after the first time to save the download, so like to save it to my external hard drives, so when I upgrade to a newer computer I don't have to pay for it again. No, I didn't. So when I wanted to do it on this computer I had to pay for it again, but I did get the newer version, so I have dark mode so my eyeballs won't be seared. I had to re-download Clip Studio and import my license, and I was very glad that I had a picture that I've taken to show my sister my progress of some of my works, like some of my artwork, because I did not save my workspace on Clip Studio, so I had to reconfigure that to be how I like it, but it still feels wrong. There's something about it that still feels wrong. But I have to wait for my sister to use the computer so I can ask her to send me a better screenshot than the poor photos I take where you can only see it in parts. Because I have given that computer to her to use, to my sister to use, for when she's here, because she has a computer but it's at her boyfriend's, and she only goes over there every other weekend, and sometimes she'll go for a bit longer if his parents are going away. But I was just like, actually I should actually go there. But I was like, you know what, I was like, sis, you can have this, and all you need to get is a keyboard, a mouse, and a screen. Although technically she doesn't need to buy a screen because we have some from when a certain person used to live here who doesn't now. If you've been keeping up with my lore, you'll know who I'm on about. It's actually, next month will be a year, for those of you that know what I'm on about. For those of you that don't, I guess I'll give you some context. So I don't even want to call him his official title because he doesn't deserve it, so we'll just call him sperm donor. Don't care. was living with us for about 10 years. It was meant to be temporarily, and then it ended up being a lot longer. And whilst he was here, he was very emotionally and verbally abusive. For those of you that do know, back in 2021 I had a really hard surgery. Like, it sounds easy when I say it, but the recovery was really hard on me. I basically had to have plastic surgery to close a wound that was on my backside because it'd been open for years and it was very deep, and no matter what we were doing, nothing could heal it. Like, I don't heal properly. So in 2021 I was actually referred, well, just a bit before 2021. It was meant to be done during the pandemic, but it was meant to be done during 2020, but then COVID happened. Because we were talking about it in 2019 about doing it in the new year, and then March happened and I ended up not having it until just before my birthday in 2021. So I ended up having to, and this was the type of plastic surgeon who does reconstruction for people who have had cancer. So I was very grateful to have such a knowledgeable surgeon help me. And he also did biopsies, and that is actually how I got my Crohn's diagnosis, because he did the biopsies whilst I was there and sent them off, and they came back with an IBD, which ended up being Crohn's and blah blah blah. But when we got home, so I came home on the 20th of August, which was a Friday, and the next day was the 21st, my birthday. And I had I have done this wrong because I needed that to jump. Damn it. Unpick. Quick. I couldn't lay on my side. Well, no, sorry, I couldn't lay on my bum. I couldn't sit on my bum, I couldn't lay on my back. I had to be on my side 24/7 for 2 weeks. And that was torturous to me, because my hips, especially my right one, is not very good. So as you can imagine, laying on my hip was really painful, and my bed was comfortable, but when you're laying on it all the time, it's not. And at the time we were going through a heat wave here in the UK, and although our heat waves aren't that bad, like I've said, this room retains heat because it is a sun-facing room, so as soon as the sun rises, it is in this room. Not literally, but the heat from the sun penetrates the room, and then even if we have our bedroom door open all the time, we've had fans go, it just doesn't go anywhere. Every other room in the house is a nice temperature, a fine temperature. In here, it's like living on the sun. And that year, it was like the mid-30s, like it was getting up to 35 degrees in here. Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, I'm so sorry. And I was sitting in here and I was getting ill because I was drinking plenty. It wasn't an issue of me being dehydrated. I was drinking plenty of actual water. I was also drinking Dr. Pepper, but I was drinking actual water to help. Like, I don't tend to drink water. I only tend to drink it in summer because that's when I lose more. Especially now I have a stoma. I need to keep myself hydrated. Speaking of, and so he'd gone away. He'd gone to London to see his ex and her kids, because they were not his kids, but he saw them more of his own kids than me or my sister, who were his kids. And whilst he was gone, my granddad, because we all live in the same house, so it's like 3 generations. So you've got me and my sister, my mum, used to be him, my aunt, and then my grandparents, and then all our pets. So we have the 2 cats, the 2 dogs, and the many birds that I'm actually surprised you can't hear one of right now, because he normally screams all day. You watch, I'll say that, and then he'll start soon. We'll see. He's been pretty good lately, But he does have his moments. Where was I? Give my brain a second, it's catching up. Oh, so because it was so hot, we also didn't have any birds. Or we did, but not as many as we do now, back then. And it was getting hot in here, so my granddad suggested, whilst he was gone, we would bring my computer and stuff downstairs. And we'd bring his stuff upstairs onto my desk, so it would be kept safe. And the intention was, once he was saying he was coming home the next day, that day we would bring my stuff back up and put his back down, and he would never know, essentially, was the whole point. But a few days into me being downstairs, I got the phone call to say that, hey, you're having surgery in a few days, and I had to go all the way up to Oxford for said surgery. So it was a case of, okay, find a hotel that's not stupidly expensive, that will let us book with like a few days notice, because that's literally all we got, was like, hey, you're having surgery here at this date. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I went and had the surgery, and whilst I was gone, he came home. And my granddad was like, look, I told her she could bring her stuff down. We had every intention of having it back upstairs before you came home, but she's now in hospital having surgery, unexpectedly. And once she comes home, we'll see how she is, and depending on the recovery, we'll sort things out. And he was like, yeah, that's fine, blah, blah, blah. So I come home literally the day before my birthday, and I walk through the door, and he starts on me, demanding he wants his iMac back, and this, that, and the other, and I am very stressed. And now I know that my health gets worse the more stressed I am. And so my wounds broke down, like my bum reopened a bit, and the other wound I had opened, and the surgeon went from being really happy with the progress to really disappointed. And when I explained what was going on, he was like, yeah, that's not gonna help. And I was like, I know. And it was just a constant for what was supposed to be a nice relaxing-ish 2 weeks. Ended up being nothing but him berating me and me being upset and crying and stressed all the time, which caused my health to get worse. And then in January last year, everything that happened back then was building up to this point. And I've also told these stories many a time on my stream as well. But one night, my sister was up here in her room, and she could hear him downstairs talking. And he knew the rules that he wasn't allowed to talk past a certain time because of the birds. Because if you don't have birds and you don't know, birds need, certain times of the year especially, but they need at least 12 hours of sleep, because it stops them from getting hormonal, and it also just helps with their health. Because one of our birds, Loki, he suffers with seizures, and we find that he has more seizure-like activity if he doesn't get enough sleep. And so he was up down, because the only place he could sleep was downstairs, because every other room in this house is filled with a 3-bedroom house, and everyone was sharing a room, so there was no room for him. Plus, other than my granddad, the rest of us are women, so there was no sharing, and my parents aren't actually together either, so there was nothing, there's nothing there to share. So my sister is getting quite fed up with having to keep asking him to keep the noise down, because again, the birds. So the one night she goes down there and she's really nice to him, because we could hear her, I can hear her especially. Even though I'm up here and they're downstairs, I can sometimes hear what's going on down there. And I'm sat here at my desk, it's like, I can hear him talking, and I say to her, I'm like, he's talking down there. So she goes down there the first time, she's like, can you please keep the noise down? And he says, for sure, even though, you know, with him it's just trying to get blood out of a stone. You're more likely to get blood out of a stone than him actually cooperate, to be honest. And so he pipes down for a little bit and everything's fine, or so we assume, because 2 o'clock in the morning comes around, or 3 o'clock actually, it might have been 3 o'clock. I can hear him talking again, and he's also been drinking when he's not supposed to be, because the medication he's on you're not supposed to drink with. So once again, my sister goes downstairs and she has to tap him on the shoulder, because he's also partially deaf. So you could say, oh well, maybe he doesn't realise how loud he's being, but he knows how loud he's being and what time it is. So my sister goes down there, she taps him on the shoulder and she says, hey Dad, look, please can you keep the noise down? It's 3 o'clock in the morning and we can hear you clear as day upstairs. We also live in houses that are conjoined, so if we can hear, our neighbours can hear. So it's like we have an elderly neighbour to our right, and to our left we have a family who has a youngish son. And so we wanted to keep the noise down, not just for the birds, but for them too, and plus our grandparents are sleeping right above him, or actually we're right above him, but they can also hear as well. And this is when, because he's talking to one of his mates, he starts going off on one. He's trying to act like a big old hard man, but a gust of wind is on the floor. And he gets in her face. My sister does not like people being in her personal space, so she gently pushes him, and she's like, get out of my face. And he gets in her face again, and he goes, push me one more time, and I will punch you. And I can hear all this, and I say to my mum, I'm like, they're off on one, and you could hear them, especially him, getting louder, like getting to the point of almost shouting. And I was like, this is the night where something bad is going to happen. So my mum rushes out of bed, bearing in mind my mum was like sound asleep at this point, and I had to wake her up to get her to go down there. So she runs down those stairs and she says to him, get off of her. She was like, you get away from her. And then she says to my sister to go back upstairs. And my sister is also now having a bit of a panic attack, because of like the adrenaline has worn off from that altercation. He did not lay a hand on her, but if he had, we all would have been down there. And after that, my sister was scared for her safety, as anyone would. And so we went through a process of getting him evicted. And in May last year, that's what happened. So there's a really long story that I could have condensed somehow, probably, maybe, as to why he's no longer here. I can't believe I went from my computer to that. But anyway, so that's basically what happened. And ever since, this house has been quiet, other than the birds. But it's nice to be able to just go downstairs whenever I feel like it and not be hounded. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention. After we had our altercation in 2021, he was going through therapy, which clearly wasn't doing anything. Or his therapist wasn't good, because she didn't see the signs that, in my opinion, and I'm not a professional, I'm not diagnosing him, but to me, he must have NPD. He has a personality disorder of some kind, I'm sure of it, because, yeah. And since then, my health has been better, but we just don't know why. These last few months, my health has just gone downhill. All I've had the energy to do is to sit here. I wake up in the morning after I have my nap, and I open YouTube, I listen to that all day like I normally would, and I just sit here and I just stitch. I don't go out. Like my best friend in real life had a baby. her third son and my third godson. And my mum and my nan have met him, and I haven't, because I had an infection when he was born, so I couldn't go see him because I didn't want to, because her eldest son has cystic fibrosis. And so if any of us are unwell, we can't go over there because of him. Which is fine, it's fair. I mean, it's the same with me. Like, no one would come over here with a cold because of me. So, like, I was like, I can't go because I've got an infection. I'm also just not well enough to walk from our house to hers. So I was like, just send them all my love and we'll meet up when I'm feeling better. And my mum was telling her about me when she came back. She was telling me about everything. And even she said that it's very unlike me to nap, because I don't nap. If you've been to my streams, you will literally hear me say I don't like napping, because the days I do nap, it makes me feel worse. And the only times I've napped up until now is when I'm ill. Like, if I'm coming down with a cold, I will nap, and that's when people are like, she's not well. But I have been doing nothing but nap these last few months because I can't make it through the day. There are some days where I don't nap and I can just sit here and be fine, but there are days where I'm like, I need to go to sleep because I can't keep my eyes open. And it doesn't matter how much sleep I've had in bed. And like, I wear my Apple Watch to bed now. I used to wear it all the time, but then I started to get eczema and that on my wrist from it, so I only wear it at night, just to track my sleep and stuff. And even that's like, you're not sleeping well. Some nights they'll be like, you had great sleep, and I look at it and I'm like, tell that to my body, because I did not feel like I slept. It doesn't help as well that some nights I will have Zelda lay on me and play on me like I'm a jungle gym, so I will wake up battered and bruised from this cat. A little update on Zelda for those of you that are interested. As you may know, in October he had dental work done to take out 2 of his teeth. Since then, he has been fine. He did have some bathroom issues after, like, up until, like, quite recently. But we changed the food he eats. Like, he has the same biscuits, but we've also added some special tummy biscuits to help with it. But we've taken him off his wet food and given him a different brand completely. And since then, he's been fine. Molly is good. That's my aunt's cat. She's fine. Dogs are fine. We have lost a few birds. When was the last? I'm trying to think. I can't remember. We lost a budgie and a cockatiel at the end of March. My sister wasn't feeling well the last week of March, so she was upstairs because she didn't want to give my granddad a cold if she had one. And she comes downstairs and she has to take 2 of her birds to the vet, and they don't come home. One of them wasn't even a year old yet. But those of you that also remember Sunny and the gang, which was like Sunny the cockatiel and 4 budgies, we only have 1 of those budgies left out of those 4. I think we only have 2 budgies. We used to have 6. We now have 2. We have 3 cockatiels. We still have Spike, we still have Loki, and we still have Pickles. Though we did find out something interesting about Pickles. So my sister got Pickles in 2021. No, she didn't. I'm a liar. She got Pickles in 2018, 2019, because that year we also lost our other son, Konya, Summer. And my sister just needed another bird to help her process. And so she ended up getting Pickles. I nearly said Loki then. Loki was in 2021. And we were told that Pickles was a boy. So imagine our surprise when a couple of months ago my aunt uncovers him, looks in the cage, and it's like, what is that at the bottom of the cage? So we throw the dogs out so we can open the door in case he comes out, and she goes, That's a bloody egg. That is an egg. Which means Pickles is a girl. Because girls lay eggs. And she comes upstairs and she goes to my sister, she goes, my sister's name, there's eggs at the bottom of Pickles' cage. And I kid you not, I wish I could say the exact words she said, but I don't swear. But she goes, and I'm sat here at my desk, and my mum's sat over there on the other side of the room, and we just hear her go, and literally she's just woke up. The first words out of her mouth are you effing kidding me? What? Are you something me? And my aunt's like, no, I swear down now, sis, she has, well, Pickles has laid eggs. So she runs down those stairs and I can just hear her going, oh my god, Pickles, you're a girl. And we were all like, that's not something we expected. We probably should have, because when my sister went away in 2021 and I let Pickles out, I have a picture of him flirting. Well, not flirting, he's posing like in a little like pose. If I remember in the editing, I'll insert the picture around here. If not, I'm sorry, I forgot. And just add some eyelashes to him and he is doing the cartoon flutter blink. You know, the one that they do in like Disney cartoons back in the day. The female rabbit in Bambi, I can't remember her name, but Thumper falls in love with her and she does a little blink blink. That's basically what Pickles was doing in that photo I took of him. We do still refer to Pickles as a boy, because it's like Zelda. When we found out, well, I did change Zelda's pronouns. I used to call him she when we thought he was a girl, but I didn't change his name. He's still Zelda, but we call Pickles he because birds don't really know the difference. He's just a boy bird that lays eggs sometimes, you know? That's how we see it. He has laid, I think, 4 eggs total. We did have a bit of a scare with him once when we came down and he was looking very podgy, like he was gonna lay an egg. And we had to keep an eye on him, because if a bird doesn't lay an egg within a certain amount of time... Hang on, I did do what I did. I'm having issues with stitching over 2 lately. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I just miss the hole. I missed it with the other half of that stitch. Yeah, if a bird doesn't lay an egg in a certain time frame, you have to take them to an emergency vet depending on the time, because if a bird becomes egg bound, it can actually be very dangerous. Like, it can result in the bird dying. So my sister was going away that weekend to go see her boyfriend, and we had to keep an eye on him. And we were like, you know what's going to happen? Because she had taken him to the vet that day, and the vet told her that he would be laying an egg within the next couple of days. My sister was like, okay, I'll go away still. If anything changes, let me know and we'll sort things out. So the weekend comes, the weekend goes, and he hasn't laid the egg. And we're starting to worry because, like I said, if a bird doesn't lay an egg within a certain time frame, it's very dangerous. But we're like, you know what's going to happen? When she comes home, he will lay the egg that morning. So if she comes home Sunday night, he will lay it Monday morning. And what do you know? Monday morning comes, she came home Sunday, there's an egg at the bottom of the cage. We have a little collection of them. I think they're in the freezer, because they're not fertilised. Because as funny as it is, Loki and Pickles do not get on. They are in separate cages because Loki wants to kill Pickles. Which is weird, because you'd think they'd be all over each other because it's a boy and a girl. Let me end this thread, and then when I come back, I'll finish the story. And I'll probably finish this and finish my story and then be done for today. Okay, I'm back. I guess the end of that story is essentially that he ended up laying the egg, and we keep them in the freezer just because they're not fertilized, because Pickles and Loki are not kept in the same cage because they don't like each other, and they will never have babies because we won't let them. My sister does not want any of the birds to mate and have babies, although we do have some gay birds. I don't think we have them anymore, but a few of our budgies were just all in on doing it with each other, and most of them were boys. The girls are just sitting there like, hello, we're right here, and the boys were like, no. But thank you for listening to my section on things you wish you didn't know, but Emma told you anyway. I do this sometimes. Basically, what you're hearing right now is what happens during a stream, where I'm just coming up with things on the fly. Because I don't script my videos. The only videos I kind of script are my floss tubes, like the progress ones. And it's like the monthly updates, because I want to make sure I get the information right. Otherwise, what happens is what happened with my last floss tube, where I repeat myself because I didn't think I told you an information on a project when I did. And then I make myself look like a fool. But yeah, I will probably record after my floss tube, if I hopefully record it this weekend. Fingers crossed. I will probably record another stitch with me working on probably this. Later in, well, probably sometime in May, if I'm not streaming by then, just to give you all an update on how I'm doing and stuff. I don't think I mentioned this, and if I did, you're gonna hear it again, I'm sorry. But with the monogamy, or Margaret Morales May as I've dubbed it, I might record, they won't have any talking, but I'll probably record myself doing the section a day, and then at the end, when I finish it, which won't be until sometime in June, because there's more than 31 sections, because I counted it today, I will probably make a longer video with it, so you can watch me do a diamond painting from start to finish. Because my goal is one section a day, because I don't want to overdo it, and I still want to have time to do all my stitching, because my goal for stitching at the moment is 300 stitches a day, and I'm currently working on like a bunch of stitch alongs at the same time. Like I've signed up, I'm doing the Monroe embroidery. I've also got to do his little acorn sow, because I'm a bit behind on that now, because I've worked on it. You'll see it in the video when I do that. I made it to the second row in the thing, but I'm a little behind now because I haven't touched it, I think, since February. I've also not been keeping track of my in my Stitcher's Almanac. I keep track on Notion and on my spreadsheet, but I've not been updating that, so I need to update my almanac before I do my video as well, because it's just easier. And I do think I'm going to keep doing showing you guys the progress on Notion, because that is much easier than editing in before and after pictures, because I can also show you other pictures whilst I've been working on it, and it does speed up the editing, though I do have a better computer, so we might not have to worry about that. We shall see. There was something else, it literally popped into my head. Oh, the stitch alongs I'm doing. So the ones I have signed up for and I'm doing are obviously what I just said, the Modern Folk Embroidery, both of his current ones. Then the ones I'm keeping up with at the moment is the Stitch Crypts Snail's Hollow, or as we've dubbed it, Snollow. The next part of that comes out tomorrow, so I'll be working on that. So this isn't being worked on tomorrow. I'm hoping to have Snallow part 2 done by Monday, so I can work on this again. Needle Lot Designs Life at the Cottage stitch along, I'm doing that one. And I recently signed up for Lola Crow's Museum After Dark, which the frame comes out on the 24th, but I have to wait till I get paid on the 1st of May to get the threads. I do already have the fabric. Coffee Craft Fabrics did some grey fabric for it, and I purchased one, and now that's actually been shipped, so I should get that this week, if not next. But I have no threads for the frame. And it'll be my first Lola Crow sale I actually participate in, because I've signed up for all her other ones. I starting with the Deadly Aquarium. I didn't do the Greenhouse of Oddities, but I do have that one to do. Hang on, let me end this thread. Okay, I is back again. So yes, so the Museum After Dark I have the Greenhouse of Oddities. I do have all the parts for the aquarium, and I have that kitted up as well, so I could start it. I actually had intentions this year to do a bunch of things on stream, but I haven't streamed since February, so because of my health. So I'm just sweeing it at the moment, which is stitch what you want when you want. With a kind of purpose. I'm not planning much other than what I want to work on that day. Like, I know that after I have the black mark, there we go. I know after today, when the next part of Snail's Hollow comes out, I'll be working on that until it's finished, as well as doing my daily stitching on the Quick Quaker sale. My brain's gone again. The last thing I said was the Quick Quaker sale. Come back. I'll probably finish this little bit and then I'll show you guys through my pattern keeper real quick. I did say I'd do that at the end, and I'm running out of things to say. And we've been going for about an hour and 17 minutes. So I could finish the video off with me rambling about patterns like I normally do. See how many of you I can enable. But yeah, once I finish the Snail's Hollow part 2, I'll be back on this. And then come May, I will have like 20 things to do at once. Because I also want to sign up for Tiny Modernist's newest stitch along. I actually have it open because I keep tabs open to remind myself of things. It's the garden party, so the 2026 Summer Sale garden party, and there is a frog. If I see frog, I must stitch frog. I also, when the Artsy Housewife released this, Hyperbole, I did also pick up a couple of extra patterns. I picked up Saucy and Fancy. I don't have Fancy. For some reason, when I placed the order, I got emails for the first two. Like in the email, the purchase email, I got links to download the first two, but not Fancy. And I have sent an email off to the Artsy Housewife, but I'm a little worried that my email has done what my email likes to do and swallowed it. because when Amanda Bad Stitch did her Trans Day of Visibility pattern last year, I donated and I never got it because of my email, and I should have emailed her, but I didn't. So this year I bought it twice technically, and I had to email her because I got this year's as well as last year's and I never got them. And in January I had to message her on Patreon to get the Patreon exclusive for November, because everyone in the Discord was starting it and I really wanted to take part. And I looked through my files and I was like, I don't have it. And I was like, oh no, I didn't download it in November. So I had to send her a message being like, Amanda, can I have the chart please? Luckily, I'd been a Patreon since 2023, so I didn't have to proof I was in the Patreon, because I'd been there since 2023. I was an OG. I joined for frogs and I've stayed. And the pattern we just got yesterday, which was the 15th, frog dragon. I am over the moon. I also, this is how easy it is to get me to join your Patreon. You put out a frog pattern, I'm in. Yesterday I also joined the Artsy Housewives Patreon because she released a frog. And I joined her tier 4 so I'd get the 3 patterns. I could have just joined the tier I needed to get the frog and the other one, but I was like, I'm gonna want the big one too, even though it's not a frog. I got all 3 and I'm gonna stay in it and I'm gonna be like, yeah, he is a beautiful. I will also insert a picture of him probably, if I remember. If not, if you go to the Artsy Housewives Patreon, I will have a link to both her website and her Patreon in the description, as a way to because I like to put a link to what I'm working on in the video. I do it with my streams as well, especially on YouTube. I can't do it on Twitch because you don't have descriptions on Twitch streams, but YouTube does. So any stream I've done on YouTube, because they are saved on the live tab, if there's a pattern for available, it's there. If it's like the evolutions, the possibilities, that isn't available anymore, so it's not there, because that was discontinued. Remember I said Spike had been quiet this whole time? Well, there he goes. Yeah, that was discontinued a while ago, so I can't provide a link to that anymore, unfortunately. But if there is a link, I will provide one. I literally have a sticky note on my computer, like the sticky notes that are part of Microsoft, and it has just a bunch of links for the projects I've worked on, so when I do a stream I can just write what I'm working on and then copy paste. I have like a little write out of the description, so I tell you, I think I tell you what I'm working on, like fabric wise as well. If not, you can always leave a comment, or if you turn up to the live you can ask and I'll tell you. I have no problems telling you what I'm working on. I don't gatekeep that. Not that I don't think anyone kind of gatekeeps much in the cross-stitch community, but you know, you always get that one person though, don't you, in the community who's like, do it yourself. And it's like, okay, I only asked, but okay. And I don't do that. I will gladly tell you. I will gladly tell you where I got it from, and I will even though I'm meant to be stitching, I will even take like 5 minutes to find it, to send to you, like the link, to make it easier. Even though I have a Google source on my OBS, so I could just pull that up to show you, it's still easier for me to just send you the link. And it also means if anyone else is curious, because you know sometimes you have lurkers, as in people that don't talk in chat but watch, when you have lurkers as well, they might not want to ask, so me putting it there might be like, oh thank god I don't have to like ask later, because I'm a lurker in a lot of streams as well, I do need to clear my throat. Just give me a second. Right, there we go. Excuse me. My throat is just getting a bit croaky now because I've been talking for like nearly an hour and a half, except for that few minutes when I wasn't talking. I bet some of you were like, oh, please bring that back. Please. I am a yapper at heart. I have been and always will be, at the detriment to everyone's ears. The title of this video will probably be Floss Tube, Stitch With Me, Number 1, Hyperbole, The Artsy Housewife, and then a line, and then Life Update, and then Yapping. Or Emma rambles for an hour. Because you had like 20 minutes of life update, a few minutes nothing, and then the rest has just been me talking. Oh no, it'll work out, it's fine. I was keeping track on my Instagram. I had posted all of January come February, and I was like, yeah, I can like keep up now, because my plan was to catch up with January and then post a day behind. So February, like once I caught up in February, it was going to be this day I post yesterday's progress, so I'd always just be posting a day behind. And if you go to my Instagram, it's just January still, so it's unfortunate. I now have like 2 months, nearly 3, to catch up on, and I've been using Canva to make my posts, to like add all the things, and I realised what I should be doing, because it's much easier probably, because with Canva I have to import the picture and then put it in its folder, whereas if I just use Clip Studio, I can just open the picture, copy paste, and I don't have to import it and take space. I did try to use my iPad to do Canva, so I could like see if it would like just let me import without having to actually upload the picture. No, it still does it, so I think I'm just gonna switch to using, I could also just use paint.net to do it too, rather than Clip Studio. But Clip Studio lets me do outlines around the text to make it easier for like to read, because it's quite difficult on the background I use. Because I crop my pictures, like when I take a picture, I don't take a picture of just the small bit. I have been, when I've been working on 11 rabbits, I'll take a picture of just what I've done that day, and then I'll take a bigger picture for my personal folder I keep on my phone with all the projects I work on. Like every project on my phone has its dedicated folder, and I upload that every day so I can keep track of where it is, because when I need to make a post like on Discord, I don't have to go scrolling through my files, like my pictures I should say, to find a specific one. And I even now save them to my computer. So when I upload them from my phone to Discord, I then save them from Discord to my computer to make everything more streamlined. And I could just upload from my phone to Instagram, but then I can't do the information about the project like on the picture. And I know I don't really need to do all that, but I want to take a bit, I just want my Instagram to look a bit more presentable, but not overwhelming, and I hope I'm doing that. It's hard to tell, because when you don't post to Instagram for ages, your algorithm, like you don't get picked up by the algorithm. So you've got to post often enough, but not too often, or you get shadow banned for spamming, but not too little. Otherwise the algorithm just does a Andy with Woody. I don't want to play with you anymore. And like, I'm not doing this for likes and follows and things. I'm doing it as an archive for the things I've done, and if people want to like and follow then that's fine. But it's very hard for my brain to think that. Like, when I post and I see in an hour I've got no likes, it's very like, oh, no one actually cares. And I know it's not that, it's literally, like I said, an algorithmic game where the algorithm just doesn't like me because I'm not uploading. It's like, this video might not get as many views as my others. One, because it's not full coverage. I know most of my viewers prefer full coverage, because when I stream a full coverage, my subscribers are fine. But when I stream a non-full coverage, I lose subscribers, and like, that's fine. Like, it's not up, like, you know, what I do isn't up to everyone's personal preference. But it's very hard for me to see numbers go up and down and not think I'm doing a bad job. I know I'm not, and I can't help being chronically ill and unwell at the moment, but it's really hard for that part of my brain that sees numbers go up and get happy to see number go down and get sad. It's one of those things where it doesn't help that I also keep YouTube, like, my analytics and that pinned, and it's not like so I can obsess over them, but I keep it because it's easier for me to keep an eye on my uploads, so that way when I need to upload a video I don't have to keep reopening it. So I do have a pin for it, which doesn't help, but I don't check it all the time. I only check it when I'm uploading a video to see if people are seeing it. And then I reply to comments. Some comments I don't reply to, I just give them a heart, because if I don't, like, it feels a bit annoying to reply, not in my end, but if I was a viewer, having someone just reply to my comment with just thank you. So unless someone's asking a question or needs a reply, I just heart it, so it lets you know at least I've read it and I appreciate the comment. I would love to do what Nicola, Simply a Stitcher, does, where every once in a while she does a stitch with me where she reads the comments and she responds to the ones that need an answer. Like, if someone asks, like, or when she does a stream and people can't make it to the live and they say, like, oh, I couldn't make it to the live, I'm really sorry this was happening, she'll read out the comment and who it's from, and then she'll be like, don't worry about not being able to turn up and things. And I would love to do that in the future, like if I do a video and people comment and then I respond to them. I want to do I still need to do a tutorial. I was meant to have done it in February, but that went out of the wayside when my health went. But I need to do a video about a tutorial on how I do my one-stranded loop start and how I end a thread. So I'm hoping, I haven't got, like, the reason why as well I don't have a cross stitch to do for Margaret Morales May this year is also because the person I get the thread packs from didn't send me an invoice, and I know I could have messaged her, but I've just been like, you know, if she's not going to message me, what I'll do is come June I do plan to do another full coverage as well, so I can just order the Night Melody and Iris, the Rainbow Goddess, together, and then I can stitch on the Margaret Morales in August as a birthday start if I want. And then in June for Pride Month, I have plans for June to stitch on a bunch of like Pride related things, or at least rainbow themed. Like, I'm gonna stitch on both my Bad Stitch Trans Day Visibility pieces, Modern Folk Embroideries, what's it called, his Pride piece, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Yasmin's Made with Love has done a butterfly with rainbows, and I think it is Pride themed, so I'll be doing that. And then the full coverage will be Iris, the Rainbow Goddess, because rainbow, you know, the symbolism of, like, part of the gay flag is a rainbow. So I think it would be nice to stitch the goddess who created the rainbow. And I also have plans in June Yes, June. To stitch on shaded stitchery is Juneteenth, so I also need to order, I need to get the pattern for it, and I also need to order the thread pack from Roxy Floss Co because I do like their thread. I mean, I wouldn't be working with it right now if I didn't. I would be, you know, I'd be willing, just throwing it out there, to be paid to stitch things in just Roxy Floss Co. Like if they, you know, if they need a test stitcher who just happens to be in the UK for some reason, if they just every now and again send me some fabric and thread and a pattern, be like, can you test this for us? You don't need to pay me because you've already paid me in fabric and thread. I am very easy to be pleased. Because I'm also going to ask them at some point if I can get a conversion for Ferdinand, which is the frog from Artsy Housewife. I think that's what he's called. I need to double check. Yeah, Ferdinand. He has a handsome frog. Hopefully by now I've input the picture when I was supposed to and you've seen him. If not, you've gone to her Patreon and looked, because I'm bad at doing my one job. Now we're going to play a bit of thread chicken here. Can I finish these 3.5, because of this one, stitches without having to end my thread and get a new one? And once I end this thread, we'll do my pattern keeper and then I will be done, because I was only meant to do this for an hour and a half. Well, I was aiming for an hour and a half at most. I've done an hour and 35. So it's like a stream, I go over by a bit. Ooh, here we go. The frog, not the frog, the chicken. You can see I've only got this little tail. I don't think you can, this little tail there. These pony needles do help because they are on the smaller side. Yes, I did it. Well, we haven't yet. I have to end it. So let's see. I'm not gonna edit this one out because we're gonna do this one together because it's the chicken. And before anyone asks, I don't actually know why it's called thread chicken. Yeah, if I bring this here so we could do this together. We'll just shove it in this little bit. Nope, come on. There we go. We did it, guys. Nope, the fan just blew that away. Where'd it go? I will have to find that end, but hopefully you saw it. For like the 2 seconds it was there. Anyway, let's put the camera back. It's probably on me somewhere. It must be, because I don't see it on the floor. Oh well, I'll find it later. But whoopsies. There we have it. We did 2 3/4 of a flower. Once I'm done with this video, I will be finishing this one off, and then I'll be going to the other side so I can T-Rex arm. But there we go. We did. That's cut off. It's 210. I haven't done just 10 stitches this whole time. Hang on. There we go. I also noticed the percent is also cut off. There we go. It's just... There we go. 210 on video today. So, let me just come off of this real quick. Ignore the white bar. You can see my mouse. Where is pattern keeper? I think it's this. Yes, it is that, but I want the big one. Do I not have it on here? Welp. hang on, let me copy. Oh, actually, let's not. Let's add a new one. Let's do it together on video. Window capture. We will... Oh, wait, I should have an existing one. Pattern keeper full. I do. Ha 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 ha. There it is. There's my pattern keeper. So, let me just move this project for a minute so it's not in the way. So welcome to my pattern keeper. I use BlueStacks to keep track. So the last time some of you would have seen this was about here. So this is Rainbow Goddess. This is what I was talking about that I'm going to be doing for June. Originally for May it was going to be this, but I just, as soon as this released, hang on, I also have this. As soon as this released, I was like, I'm in trouble, because this released as a diamond painting with Diamond Art Club last year, but it was exclusive to a mystery box, so we cannot get this. And so as soon as I saw this was released on Heaven and Earth Designs, I was like, well, I bought it instantly and imported it into Pattern Keeper just as quick, and now I have it. So I will be stitching this at some point, maybe in August. And what's really nice though, the entire background, here, I will open the pattern very quickly just to show you, because the entire background, there is no stitching. They've actually taken out the entire background, because if I go to the PDF and I zoom in on the front, see all this cream? That would have been solid cream stitches. That would have been like 20 million stitches of just cream. I actually worked it out. I think it was like 35,000-ish stitches. We can do the math together. So if you want to know how many stitches a full coverage chart has, if you do the width, so 457 in this case, times by the height, which is 641, you get 292,937. But as we know, that is not what Pattern Keeper shows. Again, I will show you. It has 227,532 stitches. So then if we go back to our calculator, I know you can't see it, but I will read it. If I don't minimize it again, I will read it as we go. So then if you take away 227,532, you get 65,405 stitches. So that's how much cream there would have been if this was a proper full coverage. So good job there, Hade, at getting rid of all that. But yeah, so this is what I'll be stitching at some point. But for June, no, it went too far. It's up. Yeah, so this is my June piece. Pattern Keeper, so these weird splodges around here. This is actually DMC 613, and it does this on every piece it's in, where it just for some reason makes it a lot darker than it actually is. So ignore that. It's not going to look like that, because the PDF mock-up, this is what it'll look more like, because yeah, you can kind of see a bit where the 613 on this program that unconventional uses does a kind of similar, but it's not straight up brown. But anyway, this is the Quick Quaker Style, so this is what I'm doing. I did have the Snail's Hollow chart in here, but as I've finished a part, I've deleted it. I've exported it, and then I've deleted it from Pattern Keeper, so I don't have 20,000 charts for a part that I haven't finished. Because if we go up to, where is it? Those of you that are, look, there's Olivia. My news starts soon. Where is it? We're getting there, I'm pretty sure. This is also another one that has that same 613 issue. Where is it? Here. So as I finish the Forest Friends, when I finish part 2, I will export this progress and import it and then delete it. So that's how I like to do it. Anyway, let me just zoom back down. So apologies if any of you get a bit motion sick. Yeah, is C. So from here onwards you can kind of see where I started to go a bit crazy buying patterns. So here's Forget-Me-Nots. Oh, and this was the other Tiny Modernist I bought, so Twilight Moon along with this. I bought these three together, but this one was from Ink Circles. That's my colour version for the little acorns. This is Diana Bloom's Blue Jay and Berries. I joined her Patreon, I think. Did I? I'm pretty sure I did. No, I did. And this was available to download because I was tempted to buy this, but when I joined, I could just download it. So I did technically pay for it because it was still available. So there's that. These are the ones I was telling you about earlier that I had recharted, so they are here. And then here is Metamorphosis, and here is Phoenix and Phoenix Feather. These are the Bad Stitch Trans Day Visibility pieces I'll be stitching in June. There's Hyperbole, what we were just working on. This is the Bubble Seahorse by Counting Puddles, and the Moth as well. I had to rechart these because they weren't Pattern Keeper compatible. It wasn't picking them up at all. Then we have Anemone by Jed X Stitch, which I cannot wait to stitch. And we have the Pink Wren. I got the version which is the closed oval. I cannot wait. I want the Roxy Floss coat. I need to message them about this to see if the threads will cover for this, because they've only done it for the original, which is the, if we go to the PDF, this. So they only have it for this, whereas I got the one with the full. And then we have Catch and Release, which is from Shaded Stitchery. We have Sea Flyer, which is from Sprouting Lupine. Gone Fishing and Whale Shark. That whale gives me nightmares because of the way it looks, just the red demonic eyes. These are Ink Circles. We have another Shaded Stitchery. This is a sampler for Grace. I do have a bit of an issue with this. As you can see, the text is all gibberish, and it's not. It's actually because the stitching for the text is over 1. On Pattern Keeper it looks fine. I won't open that to show you because you'll see the chart. But it does work in Pattern Keeper. It just doesn't work on the mock-up, so it's fine. This is the Beneath the Waves chart, so the grid. So someone in the Facebook group made it to fit this many, and I extended it to fit all 27. And I have the perfect fabric for it. I'm actually going to be stitching it on a piece of Roxy Floss Co that I got from their D-stash. I got a whole yard of this like dark greenish, and it's going to look fantastic. What I'm going to do with this though, I am kind of talking about the plans I was going to talk about in my other video, but I'll go over it in more detail then, or I'll redo it in case people don't get this far in the video, because I don't blame you. What I plan to do though is stitching all the border in just regular DMC, and then just stitching the actual elements, so the pieces that go in here, in the called for gentle art threads that I have. No, gentle art, not gentle art. Cottage garden threads. That's what they are, cottage garden threads. Yeah. And then we have In the Depth, which is the second chart from Sprouting Lupine. There was an issue when I bought it where the Sea Flyer had both where Sea Flyer was both the charts for this one, so I had to message her to get that, and she sorted it out really quick. Fantastic customer service. Oh, Glowing in the Deep is also Shaded Stitchery. Citrus Sea Turtle, this is the freebie from the Stitch Crypt. She's not releasing her actual one until the end of, till May, so I have to wait. Glow Below was Boomerang Stitches. As you can see, I also bought these, and I plan to do these as well. School of Fish. Who was that by? I had to rechart this, so it's not going to tell me who. Oh no, it wasn't. No, I didn't. I'm a liar. This is Works by ABC. I thought I had to rechart it. It's not that. It's that I had to import the colours. Underwater Garden from Jan Hicks Creates. Saucy, that's the second chart I bought, and as you can see, this actually has the same issue. So you see these orange, not orange, god damn it, Emma, grey, these grey squares, for some reason, they're not there in the PDF. There is nothing there. But for some reason, Keeper's picked them up. It doesn't matter how I import this, it picks them up. So the stitch count is not accurate because of this, and it's the same on Hyperbole. If I just zoom in on the mock-up, you can see these grey dots. And originally I had marked them off, but it upset the stitch count, so I unmarked them. We are coming to the end now. We have, yep, that, and then we have these two, which are from the newest book from Needle Lot Designs. She actually gave those of us who purchased the book the pattern keeper files, and I have Winged Toad and Curious Kitsune because those are the ones I really want to stitch. I want to stitch all the ones in the book, obviously, but Winged Toad, I didn't even know that was in the book. As soon as I saw it, I was like, because I got my book early. I pre-ordered it from Blackwell's here in the UK, and I got a shipping notification end of March, and I was like, I guess they were sending them out as like, I thought it was like a, oh, these are being dispatched soon sort of email, and then like a few days later the post comes and I have it, and I'm like, I have an exclusive because I got it first. And when I emailed her to get the pre-order pattern, and I was like, oh, I've already got my book, and she was like, yeah, the UK supplier messed up and it was giving them out super early, but I haven't posted anything online or said a word that I'd got my book because I didn't want people to be spoiled, because I don't think it's fair to the people that want to go in completely blind. I know there are some people that have done flip throughs and they've been approved to do so by both Iris, aka Needle Lot Designs, and the publisher, because they were reached out to, but I was of the opinion if that wasn't the case, then you shouldn't post a flip through, because for people that want to go in blind. So I haven't said a word. I was like, zip. As soon as she was like, yeah, that was a mess up, I was like, zip, zip, closed mouth. Not a word. But yeah, I will do those eventually at some point. Let me just bring the project back so we can end the video. Looking at Hyperbole again. So that is gonna be it from me. Thank you for sticking around throughout my rambling. If you made it this far, put a frog in your comment. Just the frog emoji. You don't have to say anything. You can literally just leave a comment that's just the frog emoji, and that will suffice. But yeah, oh my god, it's been nearly 2 hours. Jesus Christ, I can yap. Anyway, I'm gonna head off now and carry on working on this, so thank you all so much for sticking around if you made it this far. If you didn't, that's also fine, I totally get it. I appreciate you regardless of whether you made it all the way through or part of the way through, because yeah, I probably wouldn't either. But I will be back hopefully sometime soon with the end of the month floss tube, even though it's going to be the middle of the month for the February, March and mid-April update, which is probably going to be just as long. Oopsies. But I'll try and keep up with it from now on. It's just with my health being what it is, you know. But anyway, before I stay here for another 2 hours, I'm gonna go. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe if you wish. If not, that's fine. And ring the bell for notifications if you want to be notified when I upload or go live if you're not in our Discord. And I will see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.